I need to share something that happened to me 4 nights ago, something that has shaken me to my absolute core. This is so urgent that Jesus specifically instructed me to warn every person over 65 before December 5th to 10th, 2025 arrives. As someone who has spent years portraying Jesus on screen, I thought I understood divine urgency. I thought I grasped the weight of heavenly warnings, but I was wrong. When Christ himself appeared to me at 2:33 a.m. with tears in his eyes, revealing what's about to happen to seniors during those specific dates, I realized I knew nothing about the spiritual battle that's about to unfold. What he showed me about December 5th through 10th, 2025 isn't like anything I've ever experienced. This isn't just another prophetic word or spiritual encouragement. This is an emergency broadcast from heaven, specifically for those over 65 and their families. If you're a senior watching this, or if you have elderly parents, grandparents, or loved ones, what I am about to reveal could literally be the difference between spiritual victory and devastating defeat in their lives. 4 nights ago, I couldn't sleep. I'd been feeling this inexplicable heaviness about elderly believers. I was seeing my own parents struggle with feelings of uselessness, watching senior saints in our churches being pushed aside, treated like their time of significance had passed. I was praying, asking God why He allows His most faithful servants to feel so forgotten in their final years, and that's when everything changed. At exactly 2:33 a.m., my bedroom became electric. The air became dense with glory and terror at the same time. Then I saw him, not in a dream or a vision, but standing in my room with such reality that every cell in my body recognized its creator. But what shook me most was his expression. I've portrayed Jesus in moments of joy, sorrow, and compassion, but I'd never seen this look before. It was urgency mixed with grief, determination mixed with heartbreak. He spoke before I could even fall to my knees. I need you to warn my elderly ones. December 5th to 10th is a trap that hell has been setting for 40 years, and most of them are walking straight into it. Suddenly, I wasn't in my room anymore. I was standing in what looked like a massive spiritual war room. I saw millions of calendars, all turned to December 2025, and on each calendar I saw names of seniors, their life stories, their faithful service, their current struggles. Jesus stood beside me and said, "The enemy has marked these dates for the greatest theft of destiny ever attempted against my elderly warriors. He's prepared a preemptive strike." What he showed me next made me weep uncontrollably. I saw seniors all over the world during December 5th through 10th experiencing what the enemy has planned. Sudden health crises that seemed natural but were demonically orchestrated. Family conflicts exploding, separating them from loved ones right when they need them most. Financial disasters hitting all at once, designed to make them feel like burdens, and most devastating of all, a spiritual attack so intense that many would believe God had abandoned them. But this, Jesus said, his voice shifting from grief to determination, is exactly why I'm sending this warning now. December 5th through 10th was chosen by the enemy because December 11th begins the greatest release of latter rain glory specifically designated for those over 65 that this generation has ever seen. The enemy knows that if seniors survive these days with their faith intact, December 11th will transform them into the most dangerous spiritual weapons against his kingdom. He began revealing the 5 specific attacks planned for that week. The first he called the worthlessness wave. Starting during that period, there will be a massive demonic release of thoughts designed to convince seniors they're worthless, that their lives have been wasted. This won't feel like a spiritual attack. It will feel like their own thoughts, like sudden clarity about their supposed uselessness. Seniors will wake up feeling lower than they've ever felt. Jesus showed me an 82-year-old woman who'd led hundreds to Christ, sitting during this period convinced she'd accomplished nothing. Tell them, Jesus said urgently, that these thoughts are not their own. When they feel worthless during these days, they must recognize it as the enemy's voice and declare the opposite. Their worth is not in what they can still do, but in who they are to me. The second attack shocked me with its cruelty. Jesus called it the isolation protocol. The enemy has been setting up circumstances for months that will culminate during those days with seniors being suddenly isolated from all support. Phone services will mysteriously fail. Internet connections will go down. Cars won't start. Family members will have unexpected emergencies. Everything that connects seniors to others will be under systematic attack. Without human connection, the enemy's lies seem more real, more convincing. The third attack was the most sinister, the health crisis deception. The enemy has been studying seniors' medical vulnerabilities, knowing exactly which symptoms to manifest to create maximum fear. During December 5th through 10th, many seniors will experience sudden chest pains, difficulty breathing, or other symptoms that seem like medical emergencies, but are actually demonic manifestations. Jesus showed me emergency rooms during those days filled with seniors whose symptoms would mysteriously disappear after December 11th. But by then, the spiritual damage would be done. This doesn't mean ignore real medical symptoms, Jesus clarified. But during December 5th to 10th specifically, seniors need to pray first. Rebuke the enemy and see if the symptoms remain. Many will discover their heart attack was actually a demonic attack that flees when resisted. The fourth attack is the family division bomb. For months, the enemy has been planting seeds of offense between seniors and their families. During December 5th through 10th, these will all explode simultaneously. Adult children will suddenly feel compelled to confront parents about old grievances. Spouses will have their worst fights in decades. The enemy's goal is to fracture families so that the seniors who are about to receive powerful prayer mantles will be too devastated and withdrawn to engage spiritually. The fifth attack was labeled the poverty spirit invasion. During this time, many seniors will receive unexpected bills. Banking errors will show reduced balances. Investment statements will show losses. Everything will point to financial ruin. Some of these will be real manipulations the enemy has orchestrated. Many will be illusions. Jesus showed me a couple in their 70s who would receive a foreclosure notice sent in error. The shock and fear would trigger such stress that the husband would have a real stroke. The enemy will use the fear of poverty to create a physical crisis. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Jesus said, his eyes blazing with holy fire, December 11th, 2025 marks the beginning of what heaven calls the senior glory release. Every attack is designed to prevent seniors from receiving what's coming on December 11th. He began showing me what is scheduled for that day if seniors can survive the assault. With their faith intact, at exactly 3:00 a.m. on December 11th, heaven will release end-time authority mantles that have been reserved for decades, mantles that can only be carried by those who've been seasoned through years of faithfulness. I saw a 75-year-old woman who survived the worthlessness attack waking up on December 11th with the ability to see into the spiritual realm, breaking demonic assignments over her grandchildren. I saw an 80-year-old man who resisted the isolation protocol receiving a prophetic mantle to redirect entire family destinies. December 11th through December 31 Street, Jesus explained, is a window I've reserved specifically for seniors to receive their end-time assignments. He showed me nursing homes where sudden revival would break out. Elderly saints who felt useless would become spiritual dynamos, healing the sick and transforming facilities into houses of worship. So, how do you prepare? Jesus gave specific instructions, and they must begin immediately. Have you ever felt like the world is moving faster and you're being left behind? Our culture celebrates youth, speed, and what's new. It can make you feel like your season is over, like your value is decreasing with every year that passes. But I want to share something with you that I've been learning, something that flips that entire idea on its head. Your value doesn't decrease with time, it deepens. For years, I've watched people in faith communities, and I've become absolutely convinced of something powerful. The wisdom you carry right now is irreplaceable. Think about it. You've been through storms that would break others. You've seen prayers answered over decades, not just days. You understand patience in a way that younger generations are still trying to grasp. You know the difference between a passing trend and eternal truth that isn't just life experience. That's spiritual authority that can only be earned through time. Every single prayer you've whispered, every struggle you've overcome, every time you chose to trust God when everything screamed otherwise, none of that was wasted. It was all preparation. For what? For right now, for this season, the prayers of those who have walked with God for a long time move heaven. Not because the words are perfect, but because they come from a heart that has learned to trust through everything. Just by being here, still trusting, you are a testimony that speaks louder than 1,000 sermons. So, what is this season really about? It's not about winding down, it's about mentoring the next generation. Young believers are desperately looking for someone who can say, I've been there, I've been through hard times, and God was faithful every single time. Your story gives them hope. This is also a season of interceding with authority. While others are caught up in the busy noise of life, you might have the gift of time to stand in the gap for your family, your community, and the world. That's not a consolation prize, it's a high and holy calling. Your very presence is living proof of God's faithfulness. Every gray hair is a testament to His sustaining grace. Every year you've lived is a chapter in the story of His promise-keeping. In a world of chaos and constant change, your steadiness is a gift. You are an anchor. If you've ever felt like you're in the way or a burden, please hear me on this. Your presence is a blessing. It's a gift. Every family gathering you attend, you bring a sense of history and belonging. Every church service where you sit in your spot, you bring stability. Every conversation where you share what you've learned, you bring light. Your grandchildren don't just need your hugs. They need to see what a lifetime of faith looks like. Your church doesn't just need you to fill a seat. It needs you to anchor the community in truth. Your worth was never, ever based on what you could produce. It's based on who you are, a beloved child of God. That was true when you were 20, and it's even more true now. God doesn't measure value by productivity. He measures it by relationship, and your relationship with Him has only grown richer with time. You don't have to earn your place. You already have it. You don't have to prove your value. It's inherent. You matter simply because you exist. So please, know this in your bones. You are seen, you are valued, you are needed, and you are so, so loved. Not for what you can still do, but for who you are. The world may worship youth, but God honors faithfulness. And you, who have walked with Him through decades of ups and downs, carry something precious, a testimony that can't be manufactured, only lived. So where do you go from here? Keep praying. Your prayers are powerful. Keep showing up. Your presence matters more than you can imagine. Keep sharing your story. Someone needs to hear it, and keep trusting. The same God who brought you this far will be faithful to the end. This season isn't about fading into the background. It's about shining in a new way, a steadier, deeper, more authentic way. If you're wondering if God is still using you, the answer is yes. If you're wondering if you still have a purpose, the answer is absolutely yes. Your story isn't over. This chapter is just as important as all the others. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep shining. Thanks for listening.